Do you have any thoughts based on what we were talking about?
Well, I was listening like for her Guatemala. I was like, I would like to do that, but God hasn't called me for that. But He's called me into the jail ministry. And a few years ago, I would have told you you're nuts. There's no way, because I used to be really claustrophobic. Oh man. And I don't know, God, if you just put everything into getting me in there, and you're in a little tiny room with like 30 women, and the guards are way down the way. Talk about not going crazy. But I just admire, like she went to Guatemala and she ended up having to pay for most of the trip herself.
Yeah.
Which I just thought was so awesome. But, I guess I'm just happy that I was able to at least give her a little piece of me, which I see in her, her giving and definitely her giving. Even when she was little, we had like a little angel fund. If we saw somebody and gave them money, and then when she got a little bit older, had birthday money, she would actually give her birthday money, if she saw somebody in need.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that makes me, happy that she's really giving like that.
So what was it that made you realize that you needed to do that ministry?
I started out really rough as a kid, and my dad was very mean and hateful, and he set his sights on me when I was 10, and it went on for a long time. My mom didn't do anything about it. Finally she did, but then she decided she wanted him back after everything was said and done, and I just kind of I was so betrayed. I just said, and I believed in God, and I was just like, I'm done. I'm tired, and I ran away from God for a long time, got into a biker gang. Oh boy. That was a story all by itself. And I just did a lot of running. And then I finally settled out with her dad, and I just knew that God, I just like, I'm done running, God, so whatever you want me to do, I'm ready to do it.
Yeah.
But at that time I was told I couldn't have kids, and I had her, which I wasn't supposed to, which is definitely a gift from God. And so that was more, my job, being a mom and raising her, especially when I had to do it when she was 12 and he passed away. But then she got older, and then she got married, and I was just tired of being a couch potato, and I just said, whatever you want me to do. Well, then I got into the food pantry. I did that for a long time. And then all of a sudden this came in, because I said, I just like helping people, and I just want to tell people about God.
Yeah.
And I was terrified the first time I went in there. I was like, what am I doing here? Like, I want out.
Yeah.
I do have a get out of jail free card, thank goodness. Really, it was more, God just brought me into it. And, I guess it was kind of redemption for being an idiot when I was younger, but it also helped me to be so sympathetic with these girls, and see what they're going through, because I went through the same thing with, watching the alcohol, dealing with alcohol abuse and drug abuse, and just being in volatile situations and thinking that you love somebody and then they're terrible to you and you don't think you can leave, and I could sympathize with all of that.
Yeah.
And so I think that's why God put me there, was, I already knew what they were going through because I had been through a lot of it myself. So.
And that helps a lot when you can relate to them. And all those painful experiences can be used to help other people.
Right, and that's, and it's just not them. It's just, taking the time to just look around, and if you see somebody that needs, just taking that 5-10 seconds, just stop and say hi, or like sometimes I'm in a hurry for work, but I see somebody out, sitting on their porch, and I'm like, no, I'm stopping, I'm saying hi, but a lot of people don't do that.
Yeah, you never know when that might save a life.
Right.
It does save lives.
Oh, it does. It does. So I'm trying to just really work on my sensors, to be more tuned to other people's needs, I mean, it's hard when society tells you not to or don't worry about it, but I'm working on really fine-tuning my sensors a little bit more. So.
And we need more people who just care about everybody and try to help everybody, because there are so many people, like people who get sent into the criminal justice system, who just kind of get swept under the rug.
Right.
They just kind of disappear from society and nobody really cares.
Well, and my biggest thing is kids. I've taught children's church for the 3 to 5 year olds for over 25 years now. And I've noticed that people don't pay attention to kids. It's like, oh, they're just not supposed to, So I make a point, if I see a kid that's near me, I just say hi, or, I mean, I have to be careful, because they don't want to think I'm, crazy or anything. But, I think it helps the kids, adults talking to me and actually cares, where you don't see a lot of that interaction anymore. It's like, kids are supposed to be seen, not heard. And I think they have more insight, and they're willing to tell you what they think about things, where adults won't always. But I have kids that they'll tell you exactly how it is. They won't mince words.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I like that age. They're just, because they're coming into their own a little bit more, and I think it's important what they're
and I think
exposed to.
Yeah, and I think people tend to dismiss kids' problems a lot, because they're like, oh, you're so young, how could you possibly have any problems? But literally anybody can have issues.
Well, and the thing is, people don't understand. I mean, these kids people don't understand that these kids are going through, parents who are fighting all the time, or they have parents that are an alcoholic or a drug abuser, and they don't understand that these, and a lot of times the system fails them, and they're in that situation for a lot longer than they should be, so, I mean, I sympathize with it so much, because we got beat up all the time, and nobody did anything about it, so I totally sympathize with, people don't realize just what kids are going through, and the peer pressure is, even at 5 or 6, is awful. Everything I've been through, I was like, yeah, I am. I'm done running, because I'm tired of self-destructing. And that's what I was doing. And there's so many times I shouldn't even be here, because I was trying to self-destruct. And, once I said, yeah, I'm done, I was told that I couldn't have kids. And in fact, I was supposed to have hysterectomy about 9 months before I met her dad. And something had just told me not to, and they're like, well, what's the point, you can't have kids anyway. And then I met her dad, and we had her instantly. And it was just like a gift from God, because I was like, man, I could have already been having all this, and I'd wasted my life, 10 years of my life for absolutely nothing, so.
Yeah, so do you feel like that was actually wasted? Because it sounds to me like you
Well,
probably learned from it.
I thought it was, but now that I'm doing the jail ministry, it's not wasted, but I just feel like, I could have saved myself a lot of pain and heartache,
Oh, yeah.
by,
Yeah.
by not doing that. But I mean, sometimes even though you regret some things, you realize that, yeah, you regret it and wish you hadn't done it, but God is able to use all that
Yeah.
and turn it around and really help you, use that. But sometimes you got to realize that, God's first best and second best, you'd rather be in God's first best, not second best, but hey, he always is able to turn things around. So.
Yeah. And there are some people that you just can't relate to until you've been, in their shoes, or at least something similar to it. So.
Yeah, that's why I have really become really empathetic, and I really appreciate God giving me that ability.
Yeah.
So.
That is very valuable, even though in your case, it took a lot of pain to get there.
Yeah, a lot. But it's okay. We got through it.
Yeah.
I got a beautiful daughter who's just so giving and caring, and she'll give you the shirt off her back, and she's got like God kids, that she was really involved in their lives, and they take in stray people, whenever it's needed.
Mm-hmm.
And I just see so much of her, me and her dad, because he was the same way. I mean, he'd take anybody off the street and clothe and feed them, and and so I'm glad she's got that base, and she just I just so thankful to see her growing up and being her own person now, and being married, and
Yeah.
something I would thought 30 years ago I wasn't even have a kid, and now I got a beautiful child. So
I think a lot of people who don't think they are going to have kids end up having kids.
Well, I don't know. At the point in my life, that wasn't a big thing before I met her dad.
Yeah.
But I'm glad that it worked out where I was ready when I had her. So.
Mm-hmm. So what was your experience like when you lost your husband?
Yeah. We didn't handle that very well. I didn't want her to see me grieving, and she didn't want me to see her grieving, and it didn't work out very well. It caused some conflict, and I think the conflict was just worse because I was stressed out, trying to do everything on my own, and so yeah, I mean, I always thought we were going to grow old together, but now. I'm an empty nester, and I'm okay with it. I mean, I still miss him, and I wish he was, with me. But, we got through it. I mean, it was hard, and I didn't like it.
Yeah.
But we got through it, and I don't know, I think it made both of us stronger, together, because we kind of, once we got through the anger that he was gone, I think it helped us bond really quickly, and, we've just been super close, ever since, so.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, I don't think we would have the closest I don't know, we might, but I mean, I think our super closeness, I don't think we'd have as much if he was still around. I mean, because you would want to be, close to both of us.
Yeah.
But, yeah, it was a learning experience, because nobody gives you a handbook for that.
No.
But it really helped me though to talk to other people when they lost their husbands, because I noticed that people will say, oh, well, you need to get rid of their stuff and blah, blah, blah. And, I would just tell somebody, I said, I just have one piece of advice, grieve the way you need to grieve. Don't grieve the way somebody thinks you need to grieve. And if you don't feel like letting go of their stuff, you let it go when you're ready.
Mm-hmm.
And, most people are like, oh no, you know, I don't want to be around you when you're, you know, that's not good.
Yeah.
You know, so you need to grieve the way you need to grieve, and don't listen to other people.
Yeah.
Because it's just not going to work out otherwise. You know, it'll just take you longer to get through the process.
Yeah, just blocking that out and holding it down never does anyone any good.
Right. But unfortunately, society kind of...
It tells you to do that.
Yeah, it does. So, anyway. Yeah, I've been through a lot. But it's okay.
Well, thank you for sharing it and being vulnerable.
No, thank you for listening to me. I appreciate it.